I'm going to show you how to change clip speed, that is, put clips into slow motion or speed them up. And on a basic level, inside Photoshop, it's a fairly simple thing to do. But there are a couple of caveats to consider when you change clip speed inside Photoshop, and those caveats would not be an issue were this a traditional video editing product. So I want to show you how to overcome those little drawbacks when you do change clip speeds inside Photoshop. So to follow along, go to Working Files, open up Photoshop PSD files, then open up 0303 Speed. So what I have here are three shots of these bike riders coming, say, around the bend there, coming toward the camera a little ways, then cutting to this different angle like that, then going through the frame and then continuing on to the next frame. And what I want to do is I want to speed up this part here, entering the scene. And then here I want to have them go regular speed to about that point, and then I want to slow them down. I want to keep them slow when they go by this way. And then right around here, I want them to speed up again. Now, what happens when you change clip speed inside Photoshop is that mutes the audio. And so where the speed is the normal speed, you'll hear audio. And where it's been slowed down or sped up, you won't hear any audio. And that's pretty disconcerting. So that's one of the gotchas. That's one of the caveats. So to overcome that, I'm going to duplicate these three clips and use the duplicates as the source for the audio. So to do that, I just go over here to the video group, hold down the Alt or the Option key, and then drag it like that, and that duplicates it. Now I've got two tracks. I've got the regular video group one on top, and I've got a copy down below it. The one on top is the one we're going to change because it'll change visually, so we want to be able to see it. The one on the bottom will serve as our audio. The audio won't be perfect because when we slow things down, the audio won't slow down, and it may not exactly match things up on top, but at least there won't be any breaks in the audio. Okay, so now we got this all set up so we can hear the audio. We're going to work on these clips on top here. So let me just move this over here a little bit. We're going to discover another little caveat here as we go along. So the first order of business is to speed up this first clip. And you change clip speed by clicking this little arrow here. That opens up this video or audio button there. And under video, you've got duration and speed. Duration is the length of the clip here that you can see here. So you can set the duration to be exact, or you can just look at it here and use the trim tools as we used before to change the duration. The speed is the thing we're interested in here. I want the speed to be twice as fast. I could click this little drop down arrow and drag like that, but it's really hard to get it exact, right? So I'm going to type it in here. I'm going to type in 200%, twice as fast, like that, and click away. And now it's going to be twice as fast. So what happens when you double the apparent speed of the action in the clip is that you're removing every other frame. You're seeing only every other frame. So more action will take place over the same period of time. Before, the out point was right about where they were there. But now they go quite a bit farther because we've sped things up. I don't want them to go this far. I want them to be back here where we make the edit. If this were traditional video editing software, if you were to double the speed of the clip's length would be automatically cut in half. But here it stays the original length. So we need to fix that. So I'm going to go up here again to this little flyout menu, and I'm going to change the duration to half of the original duration. The duration was 5.21. It still is 5.21. So I'm going to change this one to 2.6. 2.6. There we go. And now the out point will be correct. It'll be a shorter clip, which is what it should be if you're changing the speed, but you want the out point to stay the same. And now you can see that it's physically shorter here in the timeline. And now the out point is where it was before, basically matching what we had before. So that's a little gotcha there when you talk about changing clip speed. It does not change the length of the clip. The clip length stays the same. So you can either double the amount of frames or cut the number of frames in half or whatever you need to do when you change the clip speed. This next one, I want to change the clip speed halfway through the clip. So we've got them coming here and then they're going regular speed. And right about there, about halfway into the clip, I want them to start going slower. So to do that, I need to cut the clip. You can't have half the clip be fast and then half the clip be slow. You've got to cut it to be able to have one part fast and one part slow. So I'm going to use these little scissors over here to split the clip. To split the clip, I need to have the clip selected and have the playhead on top of it. Right now, the playhead's on top of it, but it's not selected. So if I click on this, nothing will happen. If I go over here and select it and click on this now, it'll cut it in two. And that doesn't change it at all. It'll go from the first part there to the second smoothly without even any kind of a hiccup along the way. But now with the second half here, we can make this slower. So I'm going to open up the little flyout here, and I want to make the speed 50%. I'll just type in 50%. Now, if this were normal video editing software, making it 50% would make the clip longer. It would double the length of the clip because you're doubling the number of frames, so it would spread the clip out. But here the duration stays the same. So it's going to end too soon. I'll click away, and you're going to see that as we get closer here, I want them out of the frame by the end of the clip, and they're not. They're still in the frame there. I want them out. That's because the clip did not lengthen as it normally would with a typical video editing application. So now I need to double the length of the clip. It's another reason why I picked such easy numbers to work with, 200%, 50%, because it's easy to double a clip or cut it in half. So I'm going to open this thing back up like this. I'm going to change the duration now to double its original length. I'm going to change it to 4.34. I'm going to go over here and type in 4.34. And that doubles it. You can see right there. I'm going to click on it now and see that they go right out of the frame, right at the end of the clip, then come into the frame there. So that's how that works. Let's just see how this first thing goes here. They're going to be kind of pedaling along quickly here at the beginning, and then they're going to go to regular speed, then they're going to slow down. Here we go. They're pedaling a little faster than normal, boop, boop, boop. Then they kind of go regular speed, and then they slow down like that. Now what I want to do is I want to have this one be slow too, and then speed up afterwards. I'm going to split this one in half too, so I'm going to put it over like that. I'm going to select the clip. I'm going to click on this little scissor tool to split it. I'm going to make this one slow and this one fast. So I'm going to go over here, make this one slow. I'm going to make it 50%, like so. Rather than close this down and come back to it, I'm going to change the length now to 7 seconds, doubling 3.5. And by the way, they use decimals here when they talk about time. When most folks, when they talk about video, they talk about seconds and frames. Here they use decimals, but that's fine. So I'll change it to 7 seconds like that. And now it'll be the appropriate length. I'll click away. Notice how it got longer. Here they're going to come in slow and go out slow. Then over in this next clip, I want them to go much faster. I'm going to double the speed here. So I'll click on this little triangle there. And now when I change the speed, watch what happens to the clip length. Because there's no clip after this one in the sequence or in the timeline, the length will change this time when we change the speed. That's because there's nothing after it, so it does make the proper shift. I'm going to change this to 200% and watch this guy get to half its original size. It's 3.8 now. It's going to drop to 1.9 when I change this to 200%, just like that. So this is the one instance where the length does change appropriately when you change the speed, because there's nothing after it that you need to be concerned about. So it does that automatically. So now we have made the change. Now the one little thing we need to fix here is the audio. So let's just take a look at how this all works. Let's just run over the beginning here. We'll just listen to the audio. There we go. There we are. So we're picking up the audio from these bottom clips, but also from this one clip here. That's the one clip that's running at 100% speed. So I'll open this one up here. I want to mute the audio because it's the one that's kind of doubling the volume right there. So I click on this little musical note there to switch to the audio side, and I click on this mute audio switch, and now that will be muted. So all we'll hear are the audio clips from down here. So let's just see how that works. Then we'll go back here, and that will be muted. Not that you'll notice a big difference, but at least the audio will be more or less consistent in terms of its volume now when it goes by. There you go. You didn't hear any big change there that time. Okay, one more little thing to go here. This clip at the end will be silent because we changed the speed of it. Right there, that part above this area here where there's nothing underneath it, that'll be silent because there's no audio down here because there's no clip down here. So what I want to do is add another instance of Bike Riding 2 here to have its audio for that little spot there. So I'm going to take Bike Riding 2 here, which is that one right there. I'm going to Alt or Option click as I drag it. That'll duplicate it, so there's the duplicated version. I'm just going to then trim it down to match the length of the overall project there. So we have audio throughout now. I'll just show you how that works here. There you go. I could have used the end of the clip there to get the audio to be more appropriate for that little spot, but nevertheless, that's the way that you can get audio to cover the entire project. So yes, it is easy to change clip speed inside Photoshop, but there are those two little consequences. One, you don't change the length of the clip unless it's the last clip inside a timeline. And two, you mute the audio. But some people may think that muting the audio is actually a good thing, because if you were to speed up a clip, it may sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks, and if you slow it way down, it may sound like this. So perhaps muting it is a good thing. But if this were a video editing product like Premiere Pro, for example, when you speed up or slow down a clip, you have the choice of speeding up and slowing down the sound, but having it match the pitch. So that's a pretty cool thing inside those programs. Here, you don't have that option. So the way you compensate for it is to take audio from some other clips and use that instead. So that is how you change clip speed here inside Photoshop.